Let's do a self-exploration meditation on from Vasana to Vichara to Swabhava, from clinging to embracing to being. Let the eyes of the waker close. Bring up the memory of the ocean. The flowing quality of the water of the ocean is the ocean's Swabhava or nature. Bring up the memory of the Swabhava of the ocean. If a wave says that I do not want to flow with the current of the ocean and tries to fight with the ocean's current, it will always lose. It's fighting a losing battle. The more it tussles with the current, the more it loses itself to the current. This is Vasana. On the other hand, if the wave acknowledges the current of the ocean, willingly rides along with its flow, accepts the flow, then the wave will never lose. The wave has agreed to be the ocean. How can it lose? This is honoring the Vichara, the flow. Inquire into your own nature. Your nature itself is like an ocean of knowledge. Knowingness is a quality of this ocean of knowledge. That quality of knowingness is what determines the Swabhava or nature. Knowledge is your nature. Only knowledge, keval jnana, nothing else but knowledge, keval jnana. When knowingness becomes aware of itself, it assumes to exist. That is how the knowledge wave of I-ness is born. I-ness is not the issue. Not knowing what I is or is not, that is the issue. Because the knowledge wave of I-ness does not know what or who it is. It propels the flow of arisings. It begins its journey of self-investigation, Atma Anveshan. Every arising, whether a perception of sight, perception of sound, perception of taste, perception of touch, perception of smell, a sensation, a feeling, a thought. Any arising is simply the search of the I. It gets lost in its own hall of mirrors. It forgets itself. You are that knowledge wave of I-ness that has forgotten itself. You are fighting with your own reflection in the hall of mirrors. Quit fighting with each arising. You will only lose your balance to the current. This is called Vasana. Indulgence or resistance to the arisings is called Vasana. If you, the knowledge wave of I-ness, acknowledge the current of the ocean and willingly surf each knowledge wave and ride every knowledge arising, you will never lose. Because you have agreed to be the ocean of knowledge, you always win. This is called honoring the Vichara or going with the flow. The seeking tendency is the current of the ocean of knowledge. The job of the current is to propel waves of arisings. When these naturally propelled arisings appear, they surprise because they were not known until they stick their heads above the surface of the water. Whether a thought arises, or a feeling arises, or a sensation arises, or a perception arises, it is unknown before it appears. Spontaneous arisings, born of the Swabhava of seeking, is the flow of Vichara. Random arisings, propelled by the nature of seeking, is the flow of Vichara. Lust for the spontaneous Vichara is called Vasana. Vasana is always deliberate. I want it is Vasana. I don't want it is also Vasana. Lust for the spontaneous Vichara is Vasana. Be with the Vichara. Don't love it, don't hate it. Love and hate both propel a fight. Simply be. Be with the Vichara. Be with whatever may come. Be with what is. Let's dive deeper into this with the example of the current sound arising. This self-inquiry wisdom has appeared in the form of a sound arising. The perception of this sound was unknown before it arose. The wisdom surprises every time it appears. This is Vichara, spontaneous, random, natural. It is born of the current of seeking that belongs to the consciousness. Honor the ocean current. Honoring means being with it as it is, without the arrogance of I. Honoring means respecting it as it is, without the sense of ownership. Honoring means acknowledging it as it is, without the sense of doership. Honoring means adoring it as it is, without the sense of experiencership. Honoring means accepting it as it is, without resistance. Honoring means embracing it without grabbing onto it. Honoring means flowing, flowing with Vichara. Saying, I like it, is Vasana. That is not flowing with the Vichara. That is grabbing onto the Vichara. Saying, I don't like it, is also Vasana. That is not flowing with the Vichara. That is also grabbing the Vichara. Similarly, I get it, I don't get it, I want this, I want that, it should be so, it should not be so, this is right, this is not right. All opinions, judgments, prejudices about the Vichara is Vasana. Surrender all Vasana. Simply be. Simply be. When you learn the skill to simply be, you realize that you have the ability to surf the wave of the arising. When you successfully surf the wave of the arising, you do not lose yourself. When your head remains above the water, you realize that you are the knowledge wave of I-ness. When you recognize your sense of I, your attention automatically turns away from the arising to the I. When you turn towards the I, you recognize the sense of existing. When you turn towards the I, you recognize the desire to become. When you turn towards the I, you recognize the lust to experience. When you turn towards the I, you recognize the beginning point of the chaos of all arisings. These realizations allow the I to fold within, to melt away, to dissolve into itself. That which remains is the ocean of knowledge. The drop merges with the ocean. You find your own Swabhava nature, the true nature of knowledge. Letting go of Vasana and riding the wave of Vichara leads to Swabhava. Letting go of clinging and riding the wave of simply embracing one's nature of witnessing leads to the realization of one's true self. Move from Vasana to Vichara to Swabhava. Move from clinging to embracing to being. From Vasana to Vichara to Swabhava. From Vasana to Vichara to Swabhava. From Vasana to Vichara to Swabhava.